876 channel. We are here to go through with Ricardo Ferguson's first place. I wasn't able to get the deck profile in person because it was a bit late that the tournament ended and people had to go home, but nevertheless I got him to send me the list, and then I compiled it in Neuron so that I could let you guys know what's going on and showcase the monster deck that he used to take down in tournament. Without further ado, I'm going to go right into it. So we have 3 Blue Tang. I think this is the most iconic Marincess monster. It's the one that started it all. You normal summon or special summon it, you can send a Marincess monster from your deck. So pretty much it's the gazelle of, but also it has another effect. If this card is sent to the graveyard as a material for a link of a summon of a water monster, so it's not just a Marincess monster. Once it's a water link monster, you can always excavate the top 3 cards of your deck, and if you do, you can add 1 excavated Marincess card in your hand. So basically this is Salamangreat, Gazelle and Foxy in one. But if you don't get any Marincess cards like Foxy, you basically shuffle everything back into the deck. So that's 3 of that. Then we have 3 Marincess Seahorse. This is your extender. You can special summon it from your hand to a Marincess link monster, to a zone of Marincess link monster points to. And then you can only special summon it by this effect once per turn. But during the main phase, except the turn it was sent to the graveyard, you can always banish the card from your graveyard. Then you can special summon a water monster from your hand to your zone of Marincess link monster. So this does not limit you to special summoning only Marincess monsters. Any water monster that you'd want to summon, you can always use this to banish and then special from your hand. But we mostly play Marincess, so that's fine. We have 3 Marincess Spring Girl. You can banish 1 Marincess from your graveyard, 1 Marincess monster. Very careful to always banish a monster to special summon this card from your hand. And if it's sent to the graveyard for the link summon of a water monster, which every link monster in this damn deck is water, so that is also completely fine. You can send the cards from the top of your deck to your graveyard equal to the number of Marincess monsters you control. So if you control 5, you know that's 5. And then if a Marincess card was sent to the graveyard by this effect, you inflict burn damage to your opponent for each Marincess card sent. Since this deck is mostly Marincess and it does not say Marincess monster, Marincess card, you can actually do some damage with this, which can allow you to take advantage of the time mechanic. So we play 3 of that, as it's a great extender as well. We have the Marincess Pasculus, which is a starter. If this card is normal or special, it's also a starter or extender. You can special summon 1 Marincess monster from your hand in defense, which does not really matter. During the main phase, except the turn it was sent to the graveyard, you can always banish the card from your graveyard, then target 1 Marincess spell or trap in the graveyard, then you can add it to your hand. So you can't use both effects in the same turn, which is good. I mean, they had to limit it somehow. Then for the non-Marincess water monsters, we are playing 2 Silent Sea Nettle. This is for your the Bahamut Shark play to bring Toad on the field. If you control a water monster, you can special summon this card from your hand, and you cannot special summon monsters except water monsters. Again, everything in this damn deck is water. It's just a free plus. You can banish this card from your graveyard, and you can target up to 3 water monsters in your graveyard, shuffle them into the deck. So it also helps you to recycle. Sure, it doesn't draw, but getting back 3 of your water monsters in general is pretty damn good. So yeah, it facilitates us that, and we are running only 2 copies of this. For the hand traps, we chose this is 12 hand traps. We have the 3 Ash, we have 3 Crows, and then we have 3 Nibiru, And then we ended up the hand trap lineup with an infinite impermanence, well, 3 infinite impermanence, and then there's an honorary infinite impermanence. So it's like you're running 4 with Marincess Wave. How this card acts as a infinite impermanence is that if you control a link 3 or higher Marincess monster, you can always activate the card from your hand. And based on how this deck plays, it just starts with 1 card and keeps link climbing into either a link 4 or however you want to stop, or if you get interrupted. So this card is added during the combo, so it's basically always live. So it's actually a 4th copy of Infinite Impermanence. That would have done it for the monsters. And so for the supplementary cards, we're running 3 Silent Mining because of course the Marincess monsters are cybers, so this works pretty good. For board breakers, we are playing 3 Dark Ruler No More. Deals with Sprite matchup pretty well, and there was a lot of that in the tournament, so I can understand how he got through beating most of them. There are 2 Marincess Dive. To be honest, I did not know this card existed until I played against him myself, and I was like, what the shit? Where are these cards coming from? But what this does is it targets a non-link Marincess monster, and it special summons it. Well, you can activate either of the effects. Again, we're just going to ignore the you cannot special summon monsters except for water monsters, because everything in this deck is water, so we're gonna ignore that. If a Marincess Battle Ocean is in your field zone, you can choose to special summon 1 Marincess from your deck. So you can target a non-link Marincess in your graveyard, special summon it, or if you have the field spell, you can special summon 1 from your deck. So we're only playing 2 copies of this. And then we play the 1 Battle Ocean. To me, I would say this is the heart of the deck, because without this card, the deck kinda struggles. I wouldn't say the deck dies, because the deck can survive for a while on its own, but this is a very important card in the deck. So we'll only play 1, because we can't afford to play anymore. It makes no sense. 1 Harpy's Feather Duster. I mean, I kinda wondered about this card because there's the Terror Limit matchup where you're giving your opponent pluses of destroying their traps, and also they're already going to play during your turn, which, to be honest, I guess if you have the field spell and it's your monsters are unaffected, then it wouldn't avail too much. So I suppose there's no harm in playing Harpy's Feather Duster, getting rid of all your opponent's back row. Then we play the 1 Carbide Grave because it's too good not to play. Then to round off the entire main deck, we main deck 2 Gozer Match. This card says each player can only control 1 attribute of monster. So what that means is everything that you summon in this deck is blue. You never summon Ash, you never summon DD Crow. You probably might name a few people, but for the most part, you are not getting nibbed yourself. And unless they play the Water Kaiju, there is no way they're getting rid of your boss monsters. So, I mean, this literally just simplifies the game state, because if they're going to call 1 attribute of monster, in most cases that just leaves you with 1 monster to deal with. So you have your Imperms, DD Crows, Ashes, anything that can help you to stop those. So it just helps you to control the game. For the extra deck, we went with 2 Marincess Coral Anemone. You can, with this card's effect says that you can target a water monster. Bear in mind, it does not say Marincess monster, it says water monster. With 1500 or less attacking your graveyard, you can special summon it to the zone this card points to. And we're going to ignore this clause. Every card in this deck that has the clause cannot special summon monsters except for water monsters, we are literally going to ignore. You can target one Marincess card in your graveyard except itself, so you can target another copy of it and add it to your hand. So this card adds back a Marincess card. So if you're wondering sometimes how they're getting back that Marincess wave and using it over and over because it's not a once per turn, this card facilitates in that as well. So we ran 2 copies of that. We ran 2 copies of Marincess Blue Slug. Again, this card starts with 1 card and then ends with like a billion. So this is one of the ways, if this card is linked to someone, you can target 1 Marincess monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand. So basically, you add back what you used to start, and then you can probably special summon it and then link climb again, and then that's going to special summon something, and then you're going to link climb again, and then it just continues. So we ran 2 of that. We ran 2 of the Marincess Sea Angel. This is what gets you to the Marincess Field Spell, or if you already have the Field Spell, you can add the one that specializes on the graveyard or the deck. Yeah, not much to say about this. You can only link summon this card once though. So if this card gets impermed, you can't bring any more for the turn. So that's something to keep in mind of. You can add 1 Marincess spell. Yeah, pretty much self-explanatory. We played the 1 Marincess Crystal Heart. This is unaffected by your opponent's monster effects while this card is in the extra monster zone. Note briefly, it's unaffected by your opponent's monster effects, not spell trap effects. But also during the damage step, if this card battles an opponent monster, that opponent's monster is unaffected by card effects. Not just monster effects, but by card effects, except its own effect. But when this card or your Marincess Link monster this card points to is targeted for an attack, you can send any Marincess monster from your hand to the graveyard, and for that battle only, your monster cannot be destroyed by battle and you take no damage. So I suppose this is a way to ensure that you keep monsters on the field to continue link climbing in the event that you get stopped or something like that. But you kind of get the idea. We played 1 Marincess Coral Triangle. This card says that you can send 1 water monster from your hand to the graveyard and add a Marincess trap. So this is how they get the Marincess wave. They basically send a water monster and then they add it, and then most likely what they send from their hand is going to give them a plus. So it's just pluses all around. You can banish this card from your graveyard and special summon water link monsters from your graveyard whose combined link ratings equals 2. Remember when I said this deck link climbs, so you literally can just special summon, 1 link 1 and a link 2, and then you have link monsters that equal exactly 3, and then you can just continue. This deck is just, I don't know. Okay, moving on, we played the 1 Marincess Argonaut. This one says, while it is in the extra monster zone, your opponent's monsters cannot attack any monsters except this. So she's a big girl that says, you know what, you can't get to my friends without talking to me. So yeah, she's like the ugly one in the crew. You know, if you want her at friend, then you have to come to she. But yeah, once per turn you can target 1 water monster you control and 1 card your opponent controls. Note briefly, this is not a quick effect, so you might want to keep that in mind. During your opponent's turn though, this is a quick effect. When a spell or trap card or the effect of a spell or trap card is activated on the field, because I know sometimes people get confused when they see spell, trap card or effect. They kind of start to wonder if it includes monster effect. No, it does not. It means spell, trap card activation or the effect of an already active spell or trap card. You can special summon 1 of your Marincess monster cards equipped to this if you do negate the activated effect. So you're not negating the activation of the card, you are simply negating the effects. which means there are a lot of cards that says this card can only be activated once, and then there are a lot of cards that says this card can only be used once. This card effectively goes around both of those clauses. I mean, if you negate something that can only be used once, there's no more of that for the turn. But if you negate something that says it can only be activated once, then this card specifically ensures that they can't activate anymore, because you didn't negate the activation, you only negated the effect. Alright, we played, this is Marincess Great Bubble Reef. This says once per turn during each standby phase, you can banish one water monster from your graveyard or face your field, and then you can draw a card. So every standby phase, they're drawing cards. Bullshit. And then each time a monster is banished face up, so anything banished face down, this does not benefit from. This card gains 600 attack for each until the end of this turn. So each time a monster is banished face up. So you can send one water monster from your hand to the graveyard. You can special summon one of your banished Marincess monsters. Wow. So you get to banish it that you want to bring back to pump this card, and then you can send one more to special summon the card that you banished that you want to bring back to the field. And then what you could do in a combo is you can even banish the one that says you can banish it from your hand, from the graveyard, and special summon a water monster, and you literally just steamroll into, you snowball into the end of times basically. Then for the last Marincess Link monster, we play the Marincess Marble Rock. This card says target one Marincess card in your graveyard, except itself obviously, and add it to your hand. This shit is just bonkers at this point. It just says, okay, I'll add any card I actually need to try and come out of a situation once it's in my grave. Like, what the shit? The only effective way to make sure that the fuse spell or the wave doesn't come back to haunt you is to banish them. Also, when an opponent's monster declares an attack, very mindful, not when this card, or when it battles. You can send one Marincess monster from your hand to the graveyard. For that battle, monsters cannot be destroyed by battle. Also, you take no battle damage. So, what that means is let's say your opponent is trying to clear their board to get off some big play, or trying to evenly match, and you like sense the play coming, and they decide, okay, I'm going to run into your monster. You basically can send one Marincess monster from your hand to the graveyard. They're still going to lose the damage. They are still going to lose the damage, but your monster nor theirs will be destroyed. So therefore, the evenly match, unless it's already set, would not be activated. So I guess this deck has a way to play around a lot of different scenarios. That's going to be it for the Link monsters. We played to close out one Abyss Dweller. Self-explanatory, it shuts down a lot of the meta right now. And then we are playing the number 4 Stealth Kraken. This card, allows you to nib your opponent and then give them a big token, and then you bring this guy on the board and then you destroy it and then inflict half of that token's attack to them. It's a great way to make use of the time thing, or just simply kill your opponent. Either it doesn't really matter. We're playing the one Toad because the card is literally totally awesome. It's in the name. Can't really say any much more about that. And Omni Negate, then it recycles, and then it takes shit. Like, it just is too much. And then the one Bahamut Shark to facilitate the Toad, and then it's a 2/6 beat stick. So this is just, I don't know. To the side deck, I'm not sure if anything needs explaining. You guys can clearly see 2 Lancia for evenly matched, 3 Droll, 2 Crossout Designator, because he already plays so many hand traps, so he wants to make sure that they can't nib him. 3 Cosmic Cyclones. I guess this was in consideration of the Tier Elements spell and traps. well, traps or whatever. 2 dimension barrier, and then to close out there's 3 anti-spell. As usual, guys, you can hit me up in the comments, tell me what you think about the deck, and shout outs again to Ricardo Ferguson, Dark Arts leader, shout out to the Yu-Gi-Oh community, and as usual, guys, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Till next time, peace.